Hello and welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody, in this little box. Now, as you know, I do buy and sell a lot of synthesizers. In fact, it's become a bit of a thing. Even Bo Beats is doing it over on his channel.
Recently, I did something quite uncharacteristic. I actually sold one of my flagship synths, as well as a drum machine and some other stuff. My friend Woody from Woody's Piano Shack has done videos on this topic, the topic of selling his synths and keyboards.
Bugger off! Now, I know that many of you are curious about the process of buying and selling used synthesizers, so we'll cover that topic in a couple of videos. First today then, we will scan through the advertisements currently online on Blocket, which is like the Swedish Craigslist. We'll scan through the music category, pick out some highlights and discuss the prices. Let's go! Okay, so I've put on my specs, not that they help me all that much, and I'm going to show you how we can filter here for Blocket for just synthesizers and pianos and keyboards and so on. You can sell anything on Blocket. It's basically the Swedish Craigslist. So I'm just going to go to Stockholm here. We will go to the category Musik Utrustning, I think it's called. If I go there, Musik Utrustning, Stockholm, and then I'm going to, let me zoom in a bit so you can really see here what's going on. We'll go to the piano and klaviatur. That's keys. And let's take the whole of Sweden just so we get a real good variety of hopefully cool equipment. I've got no idea myself what's up for sale right now because I haven't been checking whilst I've been on holiday, but it'll be fun to discover this together. So here we go. I'm going to also just filter on private advertisements because I want to see what private people are selling, not interested in what companies are pimping right now over on Blocket. So you can see, actually I didn't succeed in getting all of Sweden. I live in Stockholm, but I want to see all of Sweden right now. I want to see piano klaviatur, a bit clunky here sometimes. There we go. Piano klaviatur Hela Sverige, 555 ads. And what we're going to get is a lot of pianos as well, digital pianos, but mainly acoustic pianos that people are giving away for free or for little money. And sometimes those can be quite interesting, but right now I don't want to look at those because there will be so many. It's basically every other advert is a piano that someone's giving away. So we'll write a piano there. I mean, I'd like to have a piano, but I do notice that the good ones are usually gone pretty much immediately to the retailers that buy them up, refurbish them and sell them on. So today we'll just focus on these synths. Okay, let's have a look, see what we've got. I'm just going to skim through. I'll stop if I see something interesting. We have a DX11 here, for example. Let's see if we can skip over to the picture of that one. There she is. That's pretty nice. I think that's a stripped down DX7, so the asking price of 4,500, even though it's very little used, it says there, seems a bit steep to me. I've got a Phantom X7 for 5k. Oh, maybe we should say a bit about the pricing here as well. Everything's in Swedish kroners, but if you divide that by 10, you get pounds, euros, or dollars very, very roughly. So let's just scan on down. We can see, let's find something interesting to talk about. The L100 then, for example, 4,900 kroners. That's 490 UK pounds, 490 euros, or about $500, more or less, just to give you an idea of the prices here. Now, this is actually something quite interesting to me. I see quite a lot of these L100s. I think M100 Hammond organ. This is a real tone wheel. I was nearly going to say virtual there. Not virtual. This is the real thing. Spinning tone wheel discs and drawbars. I see these going for about $500. This one's quite close to me. And I've always been quite tempted. They do sound gorgeous, these ones, but the limitation with them is they don't have the octave of keys down here so that you can kick left-hand bass. These ones don't really have a very nice bassy left-hand keyboard manual there, unfortunately. But they do sound really, really nice, even through the built-in speakers. And for $500, I've been tempted many a time. Maybe one day we'll get one of those in. Can I actually get back to where I was before? There we go. We have a vintage N-Sonic SQ1 for 900. I don't know much about those, But that seems like a pretty good deal, actually. MIDI keyboards, Korgs, we've got lots of arrangers, always lots of arrangers here. There's another one there, wrongly spelt. Roly Seaboard Block, not something I'm into, but 2,000 kroners, probably a good deal. Let's camera on down. Yamaha Mo 6 for 4,000 kroners. That's a great keyboard for someone starting out, I think. Steinway. Should we take a little look? Whoops. There we go. That's pretty nice. And what a nice environment they've put it in as well. And that's almost like a baby grand, isn't it? Steinway M, 100,000 kroners. $10,000 if I've done the calculations correctly. Would be pretty nice to have one of those one day. Korg TR, I'd like to get the rack. Here's a Bechstein, you can see there, for $8,000. Seems like really good value, doesn't it? But that's a bit too big for my house. I wouldn't get it in this room here, would I? We got a Reface CP there. Not really something I'm interested in all that much due to the mini keys there. Lots of PSRs, of course. Should we click here? This is just vaguely saying synths, drum machines, pedals, and things. Oh, I don't know what that is. SH09, $700, an ARP axe. Look at the pictures, shall we? Cool stuff. I don't know very much about these vintage ones. Is that an MS-10 or a vocoder? What's that thing? An MS-10, perfect condition. 7,500 kroners. £700 for one of those doesn't seem such a bad deal, actually. Mofo. Okay. What's this? This is not the real Roland TR303. It's a clone. I don't even want to check the price. Not interested. But some cool things there for sure. Okay, let's press on. Phantom G8. Another Flegel. That's the Swedish word for grand piano. You've probably figured that out by now. Another organ there. We won't jump into that one. We've covered that. A Mox 6, almost like I have. 5,500 kroners. That seems to be about the going rate. P120. That guy is going to struggle to get 5,000 kroners for it. I sold one of those myself. I don't think I got much more than 2,500 kroners, which is a shame because it's a very fine piano. And here we have a Mox F6, just like mine, but no picture, so we won't bother clicking. Yamaha Tyros 5. Yeah, I've been keeping my eye on those since I got rid of the Yamaha PSR. Perhaps we will replace that one day with the Tyros 5. Still a little bit pricey for me, perhaps. I did see a Yamaha Genos. Yeah, that's the name of their new arranger keyboard here on Blocket just a couple of days ago. And that was 25,000. I don't have 25,000 kicking around right now, but that's a pretty good deal for a brand new keyboard. Another Yamaha Mox F6. Everybody is selling them right now for some reason. A Malmsjö piano. Let's have a quick look. This is another grand. This is nice. Personally, I wouldn't buy any piano that old. I'd be a bit worried about the maintenance. This was built in 1905. Actually, it was for just $2,000. What a beautiful thing. But not for me. Not right now, anyway. Here's another Hammond organ type H100. You can see the difference here. I mean, that's a pretty ugly monster of a thing, but you can see it's got many more keys down here to do your left-hand bass. So it's a bit better, really, for playing jazz organ. The other ones are fine for just comping in a rock band or something, but you really want something with these. Looks like a 6-octave keyboard there for doing your left-hand bass. The FP9 is a digital piano I was really lusting after about 10-15 years ago when it was released. Not so interested in it now, though. We've got a mixture of pretty horrendous old digital pianos and stuff. Not interested so much in these cheapy PSRs. Here's a Korg M1 for 3,000. Not too bad. Oh, this might be nice. If I ever wanted to upgrade my Mo XF, that could be in the market for a proper Motif XF as well, just to get those sliders there, the better screen, and there's much more buttons as well for easy navigation. But 13,000 is a bit steep. I think when they were new, what was it, 8 years ago? They were 16, 17. So yeah, if I wanted that, I'd probably try and knock the guy down to more like 10,000 kroners. I think would be a reasonable deal. Now, this is cool. What do we have here? This looks pretty awesome. A clavinet D6, 20,000 kroners, $2,000, 2,000 GB pounds. Let's take a look at this one. Now, this is really cool, and this looks like it's in very nice condition. Hohner clavinet, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Now, if you want to see this being played and hear how funky and awesome they sound, then check out pretty much anything by Stevie Wonder, or more recently, Neil Evans in Soul Live can really rock one of these Hohner clavinets. Put it through a Dunlop Crybaby wah-wah pedal and maybe a tube screamer distortion pedal, and it sounds just amazing. Go check out Soul Live if you want to see what I mean. This thing, yeah, I'd love to have one of these. Absolutely. You could have a lot of fun. Wow. You could have a lot of fun with one of these. They have actual real guitar strings in them, but I'm not sure if I want one like $2,000 worth. Perhaps not. Clavinet D6 in rare, complete and good condition. Original legs, the music stand, case thing on the top included. The only problem is that there is a string that is missing and a white plastic bit for the tone control, but this is something easily fixed by the handyman. And this one is quite near me as well. Yeah, that's one of my highlights. Maybe if it wasn't so rare, collectible, I'd love to have one of those. What else do we have then? More PSRs. Here's another Hammond organ with built-in Leslie. You see what I mean? There's loads of these. I think these are called spin-it organs with the short manuals. For that kind of money, $400, I'm really tempted. You see these all the time. A D05, we know and love this one, don't we? There you go, with the keys actually. Oh no, the keyboard he's selling separately for $50. The D05, $200, which I think is a really good deal. I think the new price on those is about $350. So why buy a new one? You can buy his. Ah, look, there we go. This is the one I saw earlier, the Yamaha Genos keyboard. 36,000 kroners, 3,500. Let's do a few more. There we go. Grand piano for $500. What make is this? H. Wolfram Dresden. Not one I'm familiar with, but that's a pretty cool baby grand. Doesn't say what year it is. Yeah. I can see a grand piano in my future. I really can. Motif ES7. That's the second generation of the Motif. 7,000 kroners. A little bit steep if you ask me. Now, talking of grand pianos, check this out. A Yamaha GT2. Yes, I've been lusting over one of these ever since they were released. What you're basically getting here is a digital piano, but the keyboard mechanism is a real grand piano, proper mechanical grand piano action from one of their top high-end acoustic grand pianos. And they mate that with a digital sound engine, so you can plug in headphones and practice silently and that kind of thing, but with a really fantastic keybed. I think the new price of these is way up there, $6,000 perhaps. This one's just a little bit over half price. One day I will get myself one of these. You see them even cheaper as well. I've seen them down at $2,500. If I save up my pennies, then maybe we can have one of these one day. That would pretty much fit in my living room. There's actually a TV program here in Sweden called So Ska det låter, where a couple of musicians play on these. They have one piano each, and they play kind of name that tune games and things like that. And I saw the TV studio was selling the pair of them after they'd finished recording once. You could buy both of them for $5,000. I didn't need two, so I didn't buy it, but I was tempted. And to have the very same piano that was featured on Swedish TV, I thought would be pretty cool as well. Okay, a Leslie here. That's always interesting. And a Hammond XK3C. That's a digital clone wheel. for the Hammond system with a PV tube amp, $1,000. That would go quite nicely with the Hammond organ, wouldn't it? JDXI there as well, yeah. I sold mine on Blocket. Tyros 4 you can see here. Let's do a few more together. I'm just going to pick out the real highlight items now so this doesn't go on forever. A Motif XF6 plus flash memory plus flight case, 18,000. Also a little bit steep, but very, very nice keyboard for sure. What else do we have? Avoid these Yamaha Electones, although having said that, it was my favorite, perhaps not favorite, my first ever keyboard that I played. We had one of those in my home when I was a small child, an Electone electric organ. Guitar MIDI controller. What? That thing? No, it's not a guitar MIDI controller. It's a guitar and a MIDI controller. Let's clear that one up. Juno D limited edition. Not so interesting to me right now. More grand pianos. Another Hammond, see what I mean? All about the same price. What's this thing? A Formanta. Whoa. Oh. I know some of you guys will like this kind of thing. This seems to be a Russian mono synth, maybe a poly synth, who knows? Pretty nice. See what it says. Soviet duophonic synthesizer with MIDI. Newly renovated. New pots and caps. Everything sounds and works perfectly. Okay, 8,500 kroners. No thanks. I mean, it might well be worth that. I don't know, but I'm not interested. More grand pianos. I'm going to whiz on down. You can have this Hammond organ for free, but it looks to be a non-tone wheel Hammond organ. Yeah, here we go. Another example of someone buying a brand new keyboard for, what are these, $3,500, selling it a couple of months later for $2,500. This is the Nord Stage 3, which I think is the latest Nord Stage, isn't it? Just look how busy that control panel is. Unbelievable. There we go. So that's a nice bargain. If someone wants to save $1,000 or thereabouts on your Nord Stage 3, there's one in Malmo. FA06 for 5,000 kroners. That's a great starter keyboard, or even fairly advanced keyboard there. Half price. They were about 10,000 kroners new. And I'm sorry if I'm mixing up all the currencies here. Look, another Nord Stage 3 HP 76 this time. That's the 76 weighted keys. Again, why would you buy this and then sell it? Endast. Okay, only used at home. Endast använd hemma. It's probably just a couple of months old. It was recently released, the Nord Stage 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it's the one with the 2 OLED displays. So, you guys in Sweden, if you want to save a bit of money and you're looking to buy a Nord Stage 3, there's one up in, or down, in Lund. Nordlead 4, another Hammond, all over the place. Microkorg, one, no, okay, I was confused, that's just a little controller. Teenage Engineering stuff. Casio, synth. Going to whiz down, see if we find any more standout items here. A nice Leslie, $2,000, but that's really nice. That's the furniture style Leslie. Look at that in a case. But a bit cramped for space in here for one of those. A Tyros 1 would be pretty cool to have, I think. Wouldn't say no to a Tyros 1. Another FA06 for 6,500 kroners. That's a good deal as well. Digital pianos, MIDI controllers. What we're not seeing, okay, that's the same electros I have basically. What we're not seeing here is many Electron stuff. You always seem to see lots of Electron gear when you're perusing the advertisements here in Sweden. Not surprising since they're a Swedish company. Get yourself a nice stage piano. Beginners are always asking me what kind of piano or keyboard to get when you start out. I mean, something like this. If you really want to learn how to play, it's just perfect for such a small investment as well. That's going to be a really nice keyboard. CS6X. I had one of those before. Does this one come with the plug-in cards? Because I'm looking for some of those. Apparently not. A little bit overpriced, I think, that one. A V synth for 6,000 kroners, $600. That's got to be a good deal. What a monster synthesizer that is. Just going to whiz down here. I did see a very nice Rhodes for sale. We're back in the mid-July here. I want to see if that's still available, because that's something that I'd like to talk about with you about. I have an N-Sonic SQ synth again. There was an SQ synth in the beginning, I think, as well. Wow. Okay. Now, one of these would be pretty nice to get in the shack as well, I think. This is the original Minimoog Model D from the 70s. That's a lot of money, $2,800, pounds, euros. But I don't think that's a bad price at all, actually. I've seen them go for a lot more than that. Mint condition, unpacked in the studio, played on a couple of times, should be used a little bit more in somebody else's possession. I wonder if this is the reissue. It's hard to say. Very nice condition, so I suspect it is the reissue from about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, sitting on top of... Don't recognise that. Is that what a Wurlitzer looks like? Some kind of electric piano, maybe a Hohner pianette, but there's lots of controls. A Rhodes doesn't have all of those controls. Matrix Brute. Bo Beats has one of those. I've seen it on his channel, and good luck to him programming that beast. Too complicated for me. You can keep your Matrix Brute, you guys. Node Lead A1, $900. You're not going to get that. I struggled to get 6 or 7 for mine. Here we go. Rhodes electric piano. Oh man, that's pretty sweet. That's a Mark II with a flat top, so you can put other keyboards on top of it. Yeah, I don't know. I've never owned a Rhodes. I've played lots of them, and the thing I say about the Rhodes is that you can play wrong notes and they sound right, which is the cool thing about the Rhodes. It just sounds so fabulous. You can just fumble around and everything sounds funky, jazzy, and cool. But would I pay $1,500? I don't know. It's probably a reasonable price. I've seen a lot more expensive Rhodes than that. But I think I'll stick with my sample libraries. It's nice in my mind. I've got this romantic picture of me playing a Rhodes in here, but I know in reality it's probably got broken keys and the tines are bust and the keys are chipped and it stinks of cigarette smoke accumulated over 40 years. So we'll skip that. Tyros 2, Roland RD700. Yeah, another example of a great keyboard for someone wanting to play. I mean, that's a 20,000 kroner piano from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, for just 6,000 now. Okay, we're going to wrap this up shortly. I just want to see if there's any more highlights, Native Instrument stuff. I hope you're getting a very good feel for what's available. As you can see, there's so much stuff available for sale for great prices. Another Soviet mono synth. These are popping up all over the places. Well, I didn't realize it was a thing, but there we go. It seems to be another grand piano, a digital grand piano by the looks of it there. A D50, 4,500 down there in Malmo. Let's finish on the D50 then. That seems quite fitting since that's what my channel got some notoriety. Is that the word for? Roland D50. 4.5. Now, I think mine sold for about 3,000 kroners, maybe less, 2.5. It did have one key that wasn't responding correctly to velocity, and one of the outputs, the left output, was slightly weaker than the right, or the other way around. And by the way, I did do a full disclosure of that to the buyer, so don't give me a hard time about that. That's why it went so cheaply. This one hopefully a bit better for $4,500 or $450. Let's see a couple of links. Cult of D50. There's a YouTube link here as well. I wonder, there's a there's a slight chance it could be my video. Let's have a look. And it is. Would you believe it? Okay, of all the D50 videos I've done, he shows the one how to load it with sysx sounds, which is probably the most boring video I did on the D50. But really cool that that guy is linking to my video, and that's a great way to end, I think. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm just throwing this out there to see what people think. If you enjoy this kind of thing, we can do it again in the future. There is one other music site here in Sweden called vend.se, which is a bit like Blocket, but just for musical instruments, and it's also free to sell stuff on there. Blocket do charge you a little chunk of change to sell stuff on there. So I do use Vend quite a lot myself. You can see my synthesizers there for sale from time to time. So if you enjoyed this video, do let me know in the comments. I'll do it again. Perhaps next time we'll look at Vend. So thank you very much for watching. Remember to like if you like the video, subscribe. You can support me on Patreon, and then perhaps I'll buy that mini Moog over there that we saw if we get enough patrons. Thanks ever so much. I'll see you again soon. Cheerio.